After leaving Colorado, we made our way to Oklahoma City. We traveled through southern Colorado and Texas. We were headed to OKC to visit Allison's family for a few days before making our way to South Carolina for my family reunion.
Matt's just getting his clothes on.
Getting dressed for the day.
We're here in around Dalhart, Texas, on our way to Oklahoma. This was it ended up taking us 12 hours to get from Basalt, Colorado to here, but we also stopped for an hour in the Punch Bowl and stopped for lunch
on the other side of the pass, a couple pee breaks, driver swaps.
And there was an hour time change.
It's true, yeah.
So we didn't end up getting here till 1 a.m., but left at 1 p.m. there.
Yeah. Long day. But today's only 5 hours.
5.5 hours.
5.5 hours to OKC, so.
To Oklahoma City to see my fam on our way to South Carolina. It's not a bad view. There was one other van in the parking lot today. This is a free campsite. I think it's National Grasslands.
Yeah, I didn't see the sign really.
Yeah, it was pitch black dark.
Yeah.
Our drawer broke.
We did. We had a drawer and fridge and everything
Come out.
flying out of here.
And those Colorado roads.
Yeah, so we bent one of the drawer slides on the drawer, so I think I can just bend it back. We're gonna kind of beef up the latches because we wanted to use these like RV latches to actually lock and unlock, but we couldn't get them to fit in here right, so we ended up just using these like clamps, kind of. I'm sure you guys are familiar with these. They're common on like cabinets and child safe stuff, I guess. So I think I'm just gonna use another one of these on the other side of both of these drawers, just to give it some extra grip and see if that'll work. I'd hope the fridge would be heavy enough that it wouldn't slide around. It's not the case. So it has some holes in the side of it that you can put screws through. I didn't want to hurt the insulation of the fridge, so I didn't do it, but now we're going to do it. So we'll be doing that too over in OKC, get everything squared away.
It's hot here.
It's toasty. You need the door open, so.
I know. That's my fault then.
With the AC on.
Well, I was showing them the view. Sassy pants.
Sassy pants. Tea's ready.
Tea is ready. So after leaving Colorado, we went to Texas and spent the night at this grasslands park that we showed you guys. But then on our way out of Texas, right when we got into service, we had notifications that all of our Google passwords had been changed again.
So yeah, the hacker, whoever installed that malware on my computer, must not have gotten cleaned off when I formatted the computer or restored it back. So I think he got our new passwords that we had changed them to, and then he changed the passwords and locked both of us out of our Gmail accounts. So we pulled off in a Tractor Supply parking lot, and we're on the phone with the banks and everybody again, trying to make sure that everything was changed and that everything was safe for a couple hours somewhere in BFE, Texas.
Yeah, it was so stressful. Driving and then seeing that and being like, oh my gosh, what else could he do? Calling our retirement accounts or everything we could think of, and then it's what did we forget? What did we not thinking of that he could access or she could access? And so yeah, that was horrible. I ended up getting my Gmail accounts back right away, within 20 minutes because I set up the recovery. But Matt's, for some reason, even though we had the recovery phone number and the access to the email, we couldn't get into it until 20 days afterwards.
Yeah, we're recording this and I literally got it back 3 days ago.
3 days ago, yeah.
Yeah, so it took almost 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was absolutely probably the most stressful thing I've ever gone through. Just to feel so vulnerable and violated, and not know if it's gonna happen again. I think that was like when you get money stolen from you, like physically, you know, it's like, okay, whatever, they have your purse, like they're gone. They're not probably gonna come back and like get more shit from you. But when you have it stolen online, it's like, what other information do you have out there? So, a little PSA for everyone who has a Google account. Highly recommend setting up two-factor authentication on your emails. If we had done that, even if we had done that the first time we noticed that he logged in, then this would have completely been avoided. So yeah, everyone do two-factor authentication on all of your accounts, all of your bank accounts, all of your Dropbox, everything you can do two-factor on. And if there's codes that are related to the two-factor, store those not on your hard drive. So there'll be one-time codes that you can use, say you lose your phone. Write those down on a piece of paper and save them in a drawer or something, or at your parents' house, or I don't know, wherever is safe to you, so that if you lose access to your phone, you can still have that account.
Yeah.
A little PSA.
So we just gave Clifford his first real test in a rainstorm. Still raining pretty good. We're in Oklahoma City. There's some pretty cray lightning out and about as well. But we had a little bit of water make its way out of the flue pipe here. You can see some of it there. I think it's just coming from the inside of the pipe and making its way out. Because I put a rain cap on there, but we were driving, 50 miles an hour, so water was definitely gonna make its way inside of the pipe. So a little bit there. Now that we're stopped, I kind of dried it off. We'll see if it keeps coming out of there. Hopefully not. I think the rain cap will keep it dry. We got a little bit of water through the side door weather stripping that doesn't fit perfectly. You can see some of that here. Not too bad. And we had a couple drips come out of this, I don't know, gap in the ceiling, close ceilings meet. Can't tell where that's coming from either. The only penetrations in front of that would be the stove or the max fan up there. If it's coming from the max fan, I think I'd see it at this point here instead of all the way back here. So I'm not 100% sure where that came from. Again, we were driving pretty fast, 50, 55 in some really heavy rain, so I'm just gonna kind of stay posted on it and see what happens, see if I see any more. So we're gonna fill you guys in and let you know how Cliffy's doing in the rain. See if I can see any lightning for you. But you never know where it's going to strike. So we spent a couple days in Oklahoma City with Allison's family. I got to see her stepmom and her half-siblings.
And Bada.
And Bada, yeah, Grandma Bada. And that was really fun. We didn't record a lot of video because we were kind of just hanging out at the house with the family. Mm-hmm. But we left Oklahoma City to go to Myrtle Beach and drove through Birmingham, Alabama was our next stop. So we just did a pretty long day, like 10 hours. Ended up staying just like in a truck stop in Birmingham off the freeway. Another spot we found on like freecampsites.net.
Yeah.
But it was fine, comfortable enough. Mm-hmm. And then the next morning we drove to Myrtle Beach and spent the night in town at a Walmart. We decided we wanted to pick my sister up from the airport, and she was getting in at like 9 o'clock in the morning. The closest like actual camping, which we much prefer to do, was like an hour to an hour and a half outside of Myrtle Beach. So we didn't want to make that drive in the morning, so we decided we'd stay in town, close to the airport, and then we could pick her up.
Yeah. Double fisting it.
Hold my marg.
Hold my marg.
It's your mark. Alright, we'll do it.
Ladies in our video.
I know.
Have to wait.
I guess we can wait.
So we're in South Carolina. I said it like a local there, babe.
Carolina.
South Carolina.
Headed out to the beach. That is our place right there that we're staying.
Right behind us.
There.
Right there. Well, actually, we're
sleeping in the van.
the van. You see the van right next to I guess it's not a condo. The house. It has 3 stories. It's pretty sweet. There's 21 Owens.
I got a pretty large extended family.
Large fam. Some kiddos. The Owens have a famous margarita that I have grown accustomed to.
Uncle Greg.
Kills it. There was a blender incident where we showed up and there was no blender, and
This happened last year too.
it's almost
So we had to go buy a blender.
almost a breakdown. Right when we noticed that, someone was on the way to Walmart getting a blender. Thankfully, the blenders worked great. It's produced these delicious frozen margaritas. And it's just been a little rainy, a little not here and there.
Definitely been some rainstorms, as you've seen.
Yeah, but overall, pretty nice weather, pretty yummy food. Everyone takes a turn cooking, and last night it was our turn, and we made some tacos,
Taco bar for the fam.
which were pretty. I mean, I don't want to be braggy, but
They were pretty bomb.
they were pretty bomb, and we got a lot of great reviews.
A lot of props from the family, which is
Yeah.
always good.
Yeah, and we
Pulling
made
our weight.
We made a cookie. None of this was keto. A cookie and whipped cream dessert that was also very well received. And yeah, been eating a lot of food, wearing a lot of sunscreen. You know, we got this sunscreen that's like spray paint, goes on thick, keeps you covered all day, and it's good for the environment. It's just zinc oxide. So we're all about here. That's why you might notice our
A little ghostly.
skin color is a little ghosty compared to normal. But you know, we're not here to impress anyone.
Getting that base tan.
Yeah.
Rest of van life.
Yeah, and get that base coat. How's the leak situation?
It's not resolved, but at least I think I know what I need to fix. So I need to re-silicone the upper portion of this flue pipe. It passes through like a silicone boot that's bolted down to the roof. So I think that the boot to the roof seal is good, but the silicone boot to the metal pipe is where we're getting some water in, because it's kind of running down the outside of the flue pipe onto the top of the stove.
Because we used a high temperature sealant for that, right?
Yeah, I used this 3M fire stop silicone, but I had like a bunch of fibers in it and stuff, and it was kind of hard to apply, but it didn't seem to stick to the stainless steel very well. So I think I'm just gonna go back with like some regular bathroom style silicone, which is still good to like 400 degrees, which is the same material that the boot is made out of. So I'm hoping that all that stuff will stick together, but I need to climb up there and clean it off and go pick up some silicone to put on there. And you know, we're still hanging out with the fan, so haven't made time.
We also noticed, like in the humidity, that the roof has expanded.
Definitely, and I read about this with people that were doing tongue and groove paneling, that the tongue and groove would expand as it absorbed moisture in humid climates, shrink when it dried out. So we're definitely seeing that with the wainscoting, because it's got a lot of
Like
waves. I can show it to you from here. So if you look from here, you can see that where we have it attached, it's nice and tight, but then yeah, where we didn't have screws, it's definitely pushed way farther away from the roof than it was when we initially put it up. So I'll be interested to see how well it goes back to flat when we go somewhere dry.
Are you videoing me right now? Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
What do you think about my fam? This is the first time you've gotten to meet.
Oh yeah, the fam is so great. They're super outdoorsy and adventurous, and yeah, we've been having a lot of fun time.
And we're giving them a tour.
They're here.
Come on in.
Wipe your feet.
Wipe your paws.
Wipe your paws.
You're gonna get a feature on our YouTube channel.
All right. We can do that.
So this is like a tenth of what was happening last night. Looks like we might have some more heavy rain rolling in. We parked Clifford kind of under the carport, but I'm not sure that's the best because we're getting everything, all the huge drops off the roof, right onto the top. And you can see we were leaking around that stovepipe there because of the silicone sealant I used. Also, when we had the max fan up, we got a lot of water that splashed off the top of the van, up through the max fan and down onto the floor. So we got that shut now, but we got a lot of water in there from that too. So it's a pretty good leak test on Clifford. Glad we're finding it out early. Got a few things we can work on and fix, but you know, no biggie. So South Carolina, y'all. Sure wet. So we had a little bit of water leaking down the inside of the flue pipe for the stove. And now it's kind of calmed down. I came up here to try to take a look at it. And it looks like this. The silicone I tried to use around the boot did not stick to the stainless steel very well. So it's actually making this little pocket where water's getting caught. And probably squeezing through the silicone that way. So I'm actually going to pull this off. We're going to get some more rain this afternoon probably and see if it helps.
So we're just about to go to bed. We're here in South Carolina on the family reunion. I got my retainers in, and it was raining super hard earlier, all day today, all afternoon pretty much. It's been going ham. So we have a little bit of leakage near the flue pipe of the stove. So we're gonna check that out tomorrow whenever it stops raining and we can check out the roof and see what's going on. But yeah, tonight's the first night in the van where we're sleeping and it's pouring rain. It's very loud. So we'll see how it affects our sleep. Do you think you'll be affected?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's not quiet.
Definitely not quiet. As you can tell from the video, I'm sure you can hear it in there. It's loud. And we're only like, we're kind of half under a carport. So it's not even our whole van getting pelted. But, you know, South Carolina. Beach life. We got some umbrellas here. Stay away the sunburn. Margarita. Some chairs. We had some fun at the beach, playing in the sand, covering the kids in sand, skimboarding, drinking margaritas.
Hanging out in the sun.
Yeah, it was a pretty chill week. Good to catch up with fam and great to just relax after a crazy 6-week build, stress of leaving our jobs, stress of losing all of the Bitcoin money. It's just been, it was a nice week.
Definitely.
Matt's good at it, of course, which is annoying.
I don't think I remember. It's not too bad.
You throw it and then you jump on it.
It's basically that. It's a two-step process.
Okay, I'll try.
You gotta get it when it's in a little bit more water. Like in that. So it's board sports.
I can't snowboard. I can't skateboard. I can't skimboard.
Weird.
Yeah. These are the things I can't do.
It's tough. It takes a little practice, for
I
sure.
feel like I'm too old to like be learning this stuff.
It's true. I started this on like our first family beach vacation. I
Yeah.
was like, what are this?
And you were probably really close to the ground and you were just like,
I was like
falling.
10 or something. I was like, I don't care.
Whereas I'm 28.
Previous knee injury.
Previous
two.
knee injury, sacrum injury.
The death
Body
board.
is meant for sitting on the beach chair drinking margaritas.
The death board, as my family calls it,
Yeah,
may not be for you.
but it was worth a try.
Yeah, of course.
Proud of myself.
Proud of you.
I should probably wear a helmet.
Helmet might be necessary.
Some elbow pads.
Rash guard.
Yep. The fam's coming over here. I know, isn't it annoying?
Very annoying.
Yeah.
Very annoying. Very annoying.
What's
And you make it look so
You
easy.
make it look so easy. But it still works.
Yeah, it still works.
I kept up with it that whole time.
Yeah. Greg was storing it for me.
Yeah,
It's
look,
family
I ain't getting
Yeah.
on it.
Got to bring the death board.
Yeah, when I was pulling stuff out of the from over the top of the garage doors, I was like, oh man, the death board. Matt, that's gonna be great. I gotta bring it. So yeah, absolutely.
It's fun, man. I like it.
Looks like he's carrying something. No, is it a snake?
No, it's not
Oh,
a snake.
fuck. Oh my god.
You think there's a water snake? It's a little
Like,
crabby.
he's bringing something back. And I'm gonna guess critter.
Aw. It looks like this looks like
How'd you think this was a
this looks
snake?
like a snake head.
Oh, this is a snake. I figured maybe spider, but again, you're at the beach.
Crab.
Oh, he's cute. Look at him. We can get him with the camera. How'd you catch him?
Very carefully. He was not down to be picked up.
He was pissed.
Yeah, he was not pleased. So I tricked him under the shell, and then I picked that up, and he didn't want to jump off.
Because he's like, where would I
So
go?
let me carry him over here.
How's the skimboarding look?
About the time like that group of people are starting to get some water.
Yeah.